Okay guys, in this video I'm going to talk about blog commenting. Now this is the main feature of Scrapebox, and if used correctly it can be really powerful, although many people don't really use it in the right way. The approach that many people have is they just scrape a bunch of random blogs and they'll just type any generic comment like nice post or I really like your blog, something like that. If you have a WordPress blog, I'm sure you've seen the type of comments I'm talking about, and those ones just really aren't going to work. So in order to make this work properly, you need to start thinking outside the box. Generally, I'll comment on anything that has a following. So anything, if it's a sports team, a movie, celebrities are a good one. Just anything that has a following where you can make up a comment that's going to sort of relate to it, no matter what it's about. So for the sake of this video, I'm gonna choose Miley Cyrus and make the comments about her for this video. I'm gonna show you what I mean. Okay, now the first thing I need to do is set up the names. Scrapebox already comes with text files with names in them, although you can change them and make your own text files if you want. So what I usually do, I've only got the word name in there now, but what I usually do is go to Tools and open the name and email generator. This is a great built-in function that Scrapebox has that can generate any number of names, whether it's male or female, whatever you want. So generally I'll just pick two of them at random to use, and I'll copy them and take them over to my names. And then I'll also generally use my keyword, and for this demonstration I'm just going to use Scrapebox. And then I usually use one that's sort of a mixture of the two. So if I was promoting an acne product, I might call myself the acne guy, or just something kind of related, but I'll just call myself the Scrapebox guy for this. Okay, and that's that, then the names are done. Now emails. Again, I've only got just the word email at email.com in there. So again, we can open up the name and email generator. And once we've generated names, we can now generate some emails. So we've got to choose a domain extension here. I'm going to choose Gmail, or you can use Yahoo or whatever you want. And you can also include numbers in them and numbers in the front or just wherever you want. So you press generate emails and then it generates a big bunch of emails for you. So now I'm going to copy all of these. And then I'm going to save them over here. And they're my emails. So now websites. Now this is pretty straightforward. This is just simply the websites that you want to get links to, whatever URLs you want to get links to. Now for demonstration again, I'm going to use Scrapebox.com. I will sometimes use a mixture of my homepage as well as some deep URLs, but generally I don't use more than two or three in here. It really depends what you want to do. Okay, so now it's time to do the actual comment itself. You've got quite a few options here. You can enter a lot of different comments and randomly choose between them, or you can have a couple that are spun pretty well. There's even what you see is what you get mode, where you can insert links and all sorts of stuff like that. I generally don't bother with this. Given that I'm just going to comment on a celebrity for this instance, I usually just use one comment that I'm going to spin. So I'm going to show you what I normally do. You can also enter, this is how you spin. So you see inside these brackets, what that means is it'll randomly choose one of those words every time it makes the comment. So that's actually going to be about 15 different comments in total. And you see the comment is just basically says, I love Miley, she's so funny, or something like that. I mean, it's really simple, but it doesn't really matter what the comment about Miley Cyrus is, that whatever the blog post is, that comment will somehow make sense. It'd be a lot more related to the comment rather than just saying nice post or something like that. So I'm going to save it, and now if you click on test comments, you can see what it looks like. So there's my, that'll be my keyword, my email, that's the link where it's going to go to, and that's the comment. So if I press spin, you can see the comments changing, and so's the name, and so's the email. So you get a lot of different comments, which is pretty good. Okay, so now the last thing down here, it says blog list, and all that is simply a list of the blogs we're going to comment on. So we need to find them first. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to press scrape. Now what this will do is it'll let you choose scrape keywords from a bunch of different sources. So you can scrape keywords examples from any of these sources. I usually keep them all on, but just to keep this video short, I'm just going to use the first two. And you enter your seed keyword here, which in this case is just Miley, and I press scrape. So that's going to go out and find a bunch of keywords for me, and I can remove the duplicate keywords. I can add them to the main keyword list, and I can even transfer them over here and then do the same thing again and get heaps more keywords if I want. And this is really helpful because you don't have to worry about thinking up your own keywords, which is really good. Okay, so now over in the main keyword box over here, I generally would just go through this and try and delete any keywords that are kind of similar. So these two are sort of the same, and delete that one. I usually leave quite a few in here, but I might just leave the rest. And make sure you got WordPress blogs ticked on if you want to comment on WordPress, like we do in this one. And then we're going to press start harvesting. Okay, I'm just going to pause the video now while it finishes. Okay, so now we're back and it's finished scraping the data now. And you can see it's found 15,089 blog posts. Also, just something that I forgot to mention before is over here you'll see I only had Google selected, but you can also scrape data from Yahoo, Bing, and AOL. And you can also use how many results you want to scrape. I usually have it as 1,000, but you can have it as less if you want. And you can also add more Googles if you want. So if you click on add more Google here, you can add, for example, if I wanted to add Google Australia, I could just say google.com.au. And you can do that for any Google you want, and it'll scrape data specifically from that Google. But yeah, anyway, back to the comments now. We've got 15,089, but we're not going to use all of them. What we want to do now is we want to remove duplicates, and we want to remove duplicate domains because we don't want to be commenting very similar to comments on on multiple blog posts or on the one domain. So we're going to do that, and now we're left with 1,468. That's still nowhere near 15,000, but it's still a lot. So what we do now is we click list, and we can transfer the URLs to the blog list for the commenter. So again, if we press test comments, it's going to so it's going to go through all those 1,500 blogs now, and it's going to make one of these comments on each of them. So it's pretty easy. All we do now is we press start posting. Okay, so that's a little message popping up. Says it's filtered out. One of the URLs is pointing to a PDF file, an audio file, or a media file, so they've filtered that out, which is good. And now it'll start commenting down here. So you can see how fast it's going down here. And I might just pause it now and let it finish. Okay, so 402 seconds later, it's successfully commented on 566 blogs. So it was about, I think it's about 38-39% success rate, which isn't that great. It usually gets a bit better than that, but it's still pretty good for the time it took. Okay, so I've now cleared these two, and this time we're going to do exactly the same thing, except we're going to use the movable type up here. So we've just got to simply select that and press start harvesting again. So again, I'll pause this now and wait for it to finish. Okay, so now the movable type has also finished scraping, and again we've got 12,306, but again we want to remove the duplicate domains. There'll probably be a lot less than WordPress when it comes to movable types, so there's only 310. There generally isn't as many movable type blogs as there are WordPress, but that's okay. So again we want to transfer them to blog list for commenter. This time we want to select movable type down here. And again we just let it start posting. And again I'll just pause it to let it finish. Okay, so it's now finished. It's had a bit of a better success rate than we did with WordPress. Although now this is popped up. Now basically what this is going to let you use the slow poster. Now I turned this off for WordPress, but I thought I would put it on now. Basically it'll go through the ones that haven't worked, or some of the ones that haven't worked, and it will try it in a different method. It's a bit slower, but you get a higher success rate doing it. I usually just have it turned off because in my experience, in the time that it takes to go through them slowly, you can just generally go through another one quick and get more done. But I'm going to show you how it works. So you simply just press yes here, and you can press start posting. See, it takes a lot longer to do it this way because it's got to go through each one manually. So again, I'll pause it down and let it go through and finish. Okay, so we're back now, and the movable type blogs are just finished in the slow commenter mode. And as you can see from the 84 that we did, 72 of them were a success. So that's a really, really high success rate. It did take about 25 minutes to go through them all, but as you can see, I mean, it's just really good success rate. I don't really use it that often, but it's, if you've got a lot of time on your hands and you don't want to use Scrapebox or something else, it's a good idea to do use it. Okay, so from here, now we're going to show you how to do the same thing again in Blog Engine. Now, Blog Engine's a little bit different. There is no fast or really fast mode in Blog Engine, but these links are really good because most Blog Engine blogs, they do follow, and they're also auto approve comments, most of them. So again, I'm going to press start harvesting now that I've selected Blog Engine up here. Okay, now that'll go through again, and again I'll just pause it and let it finish. Okay, now that's finished, and as you can see, there's a lot less Blog Engine blogs. They're usually pretty hard to find, but they are generally worth it. So again, you want to remove the duplicate domains. It's only going to leave 127, but that's okay. Usually, the more keywords you have, the more you can find, but this is good for now. So again, I want to transfer them to the blogs list, and this time I'm going to select Blog Engine, and then you can press Start Posting. You can see now this is like the slow commenter mode. This is the only mode the Blog Engine uses, so it does take a fair while. But I'm going to start it up, and I will come back when it's finished. Okay, so we're back now, and Blog Engine comments have finished posting, and out of the 127, we've had 100 success. So I mean that's pretty good. It's about 80%, which is pretty good. Okay, so now there's a couple other things we can do. As I said before, Blog Engine blogs are generally auto-approved when it comes to comments, so we can now check the links. If you click the check links button over here, what it's going to do is it's going to go through all the blogs that we submitted to, and it's going to look for any links that have the Scrapebox link in it or whatever URL you had in there. So now I can just press the check links button and it'll go and do this. So now again, this might take a bit of time, so I'm just going to pause it again. Okay, so that's finished checking the links now, and from the 127 we submitted to, it's found 62 links. So that's 62 instant links back to whatever site you had selected, which is pretty good. Now I'm going to show you how you can verify this. So if you click on one of them up here, you can right click on it and open the URL in internal browser. Now what this will do will actually open it up in the internal browser. Now this blog post really hasn't got anything to do with Miley Cyrus, but it must have come up in our searches. But if we scroll down to the bottom of it, we'll see our comment here. And there's the link which goes back to the Scrapebox site. And it's as simple as that. So I'm going to close that down now. And I'm going to show you another thing you can do now. Sometimes, as I said before, considering that Blog Engine blogs do follow and they're auto-approved a lot of the time, it's good to try and find a big list of Blog Engine blogs that have a high PR. Now, a good way to do this is just to simply scan the PR of the domain PR of the sites we've already found. So we can get the domain page rank, which will happen very quickly. Anyway, so now what we've found is we've got here's some PR6 blogs. Okay, so what we can do now is we found some PR6 blogs up here. If we want to trim them to the root, so just get the domain, we can, and then we can find this. We can right click on it and we can copy the URL to our clipboard. Now what we can do is we can delete this. We can use custom footprint up here. We can type in site, and then that. So what this is going to do is going to return all the results of that domain in Google. Now we can start harvesting. Now the reason we're doing this is because that domain has a high PR, so in all likelihood there's going to be some of its blog posts that are also going to have a high PR. So we can then run the page rank again. This time we're going to run the URL page rank. So now you can find all the and or not blogs. There's PR5 blog post, PR4, PR3. There's a lot of them. I mean, you can repeat this process with any high PR blog you find, and there's also a couple of other methods you can use that I've used to find. At the moment, I've got a list of 15,000 PR5 to 9 blog posts that I can get comments on whenever I want. I go into more depth about that in the PDF guide that came with your download. There's a whole section dedicated to that, so if you want to learn more about that, read the PDF guide. And there's also just one last thing I want to show you about the manual comment mode. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to scrape some WordPress blogs. I'm going to show you how it works. I'm just going to scrap a few hundred here. So that should be enough. And I'm going to scan them for their PR, the actual URL page rank this time. Okay, now the reason the manual mode's good is because right now if you want to get rid of all, say, PR2 or less, you can just highlight them all and get rid of them. Right click, remove selected URLs from list. And now you've got 27 relatively decent PR sites that you want to get links from. So now what you can do is you can transfer them over and select WordPress again. And we've got our comments already in there from before. So what we can do now is we can click on manual. So what this is going to do is it's going to open it up, and it's going to try and load each one of these blog posts, and it's going to automatically fill the box. But we can also edit it to make sure it's more unique and make sure it's more related to the blog. The reason that we want to do this is if we got high PR blog posts we really want links from, it's good to do it this way so you can ensure that your comment doesn't get deleted. Okay, so sometimes it has a bit of trouble loading, but this one seems to be working okay now. So generally when it's WordPress movable type of blog engine, Scrapebox will automatically fill this out for you. Sometimes it takes a while and sometimes it can't, but even still, I mean, even if you were just to enter the stuff in manually, it's a lot quicker to go through the URLs this way than it would be to do so manually. Well, there you go. See, it's already filled out the stuff for me, and I can read through the blog post if I want, and then I could alter it accordingly. But I'm not going to. I'll just submit it now. I mean, there's an error with that one, but this just goes to show you that if you find some really high PR blog posts, you don't have to go through them all manually. You can use manual mode in Scrapebox, which is a lot quicker than doing it. If you were to go to each URL in your browser. So that's just another mode of the comment mode. And that pretty much sums up all of this. Is pretty much the end of the video now. As I said before, there's a good way to find thousands and thousands of blog posts that have a high PR, and you'll learn more about that in the PDF guide. But that's the end of this video. The next one's going to be about the ping mode, which is pretty good, and it'll be a lot shorter than this one. So I'll see you in the next video.